Okay, so the next step is you're going to put in your projection and dimension lines to your building. What I have done is I'm going to change the line colour to red so that you can see that on top of the black lines that are already there. I've locked these lines into the background so they won't interfere with the drawing that I'm putting on top. What you do need to do is go to Edit and down to Preferences, and you need to make sure that your stroke weight is in millimeters. So general millimeters, stroke weight millimeters, because there is a specific measurement or thickness of stroke that you need, which up in the top here is 0.18 stroke weight for all the dimension and projection lines. So the first thing that you're going to do is zooming right in. So you're going to, this is what I do. I get a square, click on the background, type in 2, then 2, and OK. And that gives me a little square, which wants to turn around on it. So I zoom right in now. I can select it and move it right down. So this is going to give me a guide for where my starting point is. So this projection line, the vertical projection line, has to sit 2 millimeters from the actual building, which is why I put a guide there for myself. And then view guides, show guides. So if I turn the guides on and I also have view show rulers open, then I can click and drag from the top ruler palette and bring it down here, so that locks in, so I know that it should sit 2 millimeters away from the object. So now I can remove this. Then my projection line has to be, dimension line has to be 30 millimeters long. So I will click on the line tool, type in 30 millimeters, 90 degrees angle at a vertical, and OK. So there I have my red line. And I'm also going to make sure that I have a guideline that comes in from the left so it lines up with the edge of the building. So I will place my line there. So I've got one now. What you can do now that you've got that line there is you don't have to copy and paste it and put it into place again. You can go Control-Shift-M and you can move it and copy it across a horizontal or vertical axis. So we know that the width is 120 millimeters. So if I type in 120 and then 0, then and copy, then that line will go exactly over here. So I don't need to do anything else, it's there. And now we want to do our horizontal line, so we're going to zoom in again, create another box. That box has to be 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters and go OK. So this is to make sure that you're starting your first dimension line at the right point, which has to be 10 millimeters away from the building. That's the space there. So we get the guideline and we put it down here. So that's the next line. So now we know that the length is 120 long. We can just click and drag across, holding down the Shift key so you get a straight line. So there's one line there. We want to make that line red so we can see it. And then we can do the same thing again, Control-Shift-M. Now, we don't want to go horizontal this time, we want to go vertical. Do we go up or down? Let's see, -10. And then tab, so that reflects down here, and then copy. And then Control-Shift-M, 0, -10, again, copy. There we go. So we've got all those lines in place. They all look like they're too thick to me. So I am going to check the thickness of them. Up in stroke, I'll type in 0.18. Much better. So now they're appropriate. Okay, so we've got these lines in here. We can get rid of this box because we know we've got those measurements right. So now we've got all of these lines here, which have to be vertical and they have to be 2 millimeters long. So the length is 2, the angle will be 90. Okay. And so we can just place those along our measurements on top of our traced image and center them on the line.